When a search engine optimizes or indexes your website, it's actually optimizing each individual page. It doesn't optimize the whole website. It optimizes the site page by page. There's a couple of items that we can use what are called meta tags. And there's a keyword meta tag and a description meta tag that we can put settings in for in our CMS system. The most important thing when it comes to optimizing a page, however, is the content. In other words, what's written in your page is the most important thing. But there are other settings that we can use to help search engines, which are called meta tags, and we'll take a look at those now. On our front page of our site, we're going to use the global settings in our CMS for keywords and descriptors, but the individual pages within our site, like this one for example, is about indoor air quality. There are particular items in here that we may want to use as keywords: air cleaners, humidifiers, thermostat, things like that. Although again, the content or the stuff that's in the page is the most important, we can also put some meta tags in for that page separate. This is something that's good to do. It doesn't hurt, but we shouldn't get too caught up on it. The content of the page is the most important, but we can use meta tags and descriptors, so let's take a look at those now. In our administration page of our site, we're going to go to global configuration, and if we scroll down this page, we'll see here we have a meta description and a meta keywords fields. This is a description that's used for your website pages. If you don't put individual descriptors on each article, this will be used by default. And the same thing with these keywords. These keywords will be used for each page if you don't put in individual ones per page. So we're going to set up these, which are good relevant descriptors and keywords for our front page or main page, in our default settings here, or what we call our global settings, and we'll set those and leave those set. But now we're going to take a look at an individual page. So let's go to our article manager and pull up our page about indoor air quality. This particular page, as we saw before, is all about air quality things. And some of these keywords that we may use, like electronic air cleaner, humidifier, etc., can be set into the metadata information settings here. If our keywords here are going to be things like UV system, if I spell it right, we can put in humidifier, ERV, HRV, CO2 alarm, radon, and so on. These are keywords that are relevant for this particular page. Also on our descriptor, we could put in a description here. I'll just paste it in from our article. This is the description that a search engine will use when listing this particular page on a search engine result. And these are keywords that may help find this. The robots field here is not typically used. This is important to leave this blank. If for some reason you don't want a search engine to index a page, you can type in no index, no follow. No index, no follow means to a search engine, ignore this page, do not index it, don't let the public find it. But most cases we want the public to find it, so it's very important to leave that blank. Don't put anything in there. In the author slot, this is basically just for internal notes. If you wanted to make a notation of who wrote this particular article or page, you could put an author in there, otherwise it's not important. The most important things here are the keywords that you choose for the content of this particular article, and the description. This should be kept to probably under 100 words for the page. So each page or each article will have its own description and its own keywords. If there's nothing in these fields instead are left blank, what's going to get filled in there and used by a search engine are what we just saw back on our default page or our global settings page. So each individual article or page can have its own description and its own keywords. Keywords are separated by commas. that. So you'd put in humidifier, CO2 alarm, etc., and put the keyword or keyword phrases and separate them by commas. You can put as many as you like. Search engines, again, are going to really pick up on the first 5 through 10 as the most important in there, and put less relevance to the others. So put your most important keywords first. And these keywords that you put in here should be relevant to, obviously, the content of your page of the article. So description and keywords are important for each individual article in your system. If those are not filled in and left blank, the system will utilize what's found in the global configuration under the global settings here for description and the global keywords here. It's a good thing to put in individuals, so I would recommend doing that for each individual article. Because the end user sets the content of the page, the end user should set those individual keywords and descriptors per article.